Hey y'all, it's the Milkman here, holding back tears of despair. I did something completely stupid, but I don't want to speak about it right now. Welcome to week 6 of Show Us Your TDs. I'm with the main man, Gooby. How are you, bro?
I'm doing good. I'm back in platinum again, so I'm doing good.
Can you leave platinum? I don't think you can just
Yeah,
leave
when
platinum.
you beat me last week, I dropped out of platinum because
Ah,
you lose points.
that actually brought a smile to my face. Ah, that's
Uh,
awesome.
but yeah, no, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. But you want to know what brings a smile to my face?
Oh boy, let's hear it.
Uh, Hold on. Let's get into the fantasy matchup for this week.
Ugh.
Alrighty, boys and girls, children of all ages, Goobies.
Generation X, proudly.
Anyways, Gooby is ready to tell you that he avenged Melky's poor performance against the last place person, Adam's team.
Thank you,
Uh,
thank you.
I destroyed Adam 134-93. I think it's the biggest defeat this year on our Show Us Your TDs league. I'm not sure, but I'm not even going to bother dabbling into it. Let's get some highlights. Matthew Stafford, 23 points. Could have done a little bit better. I was a little worried there at the start. Justin Jefferson, 12 points. A.J. Brown, he's just been a no-show this year, 3 points. Derrick Henry, putting up 31 points. Always a good thing to have him sitting in my player list.
In your corner.
In my corner, yeah. Daryl Henderson, 15.9 points. Welcome back. Kenny Gallaudet, what the fuck happened? 0 points. He got injured. Went out in the first quarter or second quarter. I was not happy. I was losing my mind at that point.
It's that New York Giants football team curse. Like, how many injuries happened in that game?
Oh fuck! I think there was like 3 or 4. It
There
was
was
ridiculous.
Saquon, Daniel Jones, I think an offensive lineman,
Gallaudet, yeah.
Holiday.
It was all over the place.
All worked out for Big D, so it's all good.
Yeah, that's right. 4-1, baby. McManus, 7 points. Dallas defense, 11 points. I'm happy I picked them up because they're balling out right now. I know we'll get into that a little bit later. But
How excited were you though at the end? Or was it Brown or Lewis? Was it Lewis or Brown? One of the corners caught the pick six.
Oh yeah, it was. I think it was Brown. Brown. No, because I was losing at that point. I think, just by a little bit, and then that kind of sealed it for me a little bit because I was like, okay, that's good. Going into Monday, I was already winning, but then Mr. Miles Andrews puts up 30 fucking points, and I just end up destroying. So yeah, all in all, fucking a good last week for me. How about you? How'd you do?
Man, I don't even want to talk about it, but I will because we have a podcast to do. So usually, I'd be screaming at my players, pointing the finger and blaming them for not showing up or underperforming, but I can't do that this week. It is the coach's fault, and at times it will be the coach's fault. I made a boneheaded play, and I'll explain in a bit. I'm just going to give some praise to my players for actually showing up because it was a game. I lost 124 to 111 to Morning Chubb, aka Allen. He definitely got a chub, knowing that I did not start Justin Herbert, and that basically sealed my fate. But I will give a shout out to Jamar Chase. What a find! 21 points. Austin Eckler, you've been on a tear lately, bro. 27.9 points. And Gooby could have had him for a price of him and Woods, but declined my trade. But that's okay. Antonio Gibson, 19.2 points. Uh, we had Diggs, 6.9. Waller, I don't even know what's going on with you, Waller. You know what? I'm going to blame your coach because he's a piece of shit. And we're going to go with that for now. And we're going to talk about that later, too. AJ Green, I don't even know why I bothered picking you up. I knew me grabbing you, being on your little hot streak, was going to screw me over. And then the Carolina Panthers defense, a nice 8 points, And then, of course, I mentioned it earlier. I didn't play him. I chose Kirk Cousins because I thought he would destroy the Lions. Boy, was I wrong. Kirk Cousins, you couldn't even get to the 20-point mark. You stink. Never again. I dropped your ass. Don't ever call me. Lose my number. Fuck you. Justin Herbert, 54.8 points. He balled out. Allen would have been done. He would have been probably in last place right now instead of second last. I was a loss for words. I honestly, you know what I did? So at halftime, he had 20 points. So I could have lived with that if he only managed to score 20 points. But no, the Browns forgot to cover and left Williams wide open, and Eckler scored, and Herbert himself ran in. So I went into a corner for about 20 minutes, and I cried in the dark because I am such a freaking bonehead.
Yeah, it happens.
And I lost. And now I'm in third last place. I would have been in fourth. But that's
I'm sitting second right now, baby.
Actually, I might have been in third because of all the points. Because I have some points.
Yeah.
But that I left 35.65 points on the table.
Yeah.
Inexcusable.
I think that was sorry. I think that was
sorry.
me 3 seasons ago. Remember, I kept on playing the matchups, and my bench would ball out, and you would message me. You'd be like, "Yo, your bench is fucking killing it."
Honestly, well, yeah, because Claypool, he balled out too. He had 19 points. I didn't play him, but I can live with that. I can live with that. Is the fact that I trusted a Minnesota Viking player, which I should have known better not to trust them. That's an organization that goes and has sex boat parties out in the docks and get busted and then lie about it to their wives. Never again. Like I said, Cousins, I hate you.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, that's a crushing defeat, especially when you have someone on your bench that could have won you the game.
Easily. It wouldn't have been close. It would have been an onslaught. I would have been walking on sunshine. That would have been 3 games in a row. And now I have to go into this week and teach Jen a lesson. So
yeah, tell us about that matchup with Jen.
So this week I am playing Jen. Her name is something stupid. Not a Bears lineup, which I'm glad she took our advices and did not draft a bunch of Bear players. So this week, I learned from my mistake. I got Justin Herbert in. She's got Josh Allen, arguably the best quarterback right now. So that's a great matchup. I think I'm going to give that a wash. Actually, I might give it to Josh Allen a little bit out of respect. And we got Stephon Diggs and DeAndre Hopkins. I'm going to give the slight edge to Hopkins, even though Diggs is projected more. Jamar Chase, oh man, my crown jewel against Mike Evans. Evans played already, so sorry, folks. This is recorded a little later than usual. But Mike Evans played already, and he did nothing. He got 27 yards only, so he's at 2.7 right now. Hallelujah. I've got Austin Eckler, of course, against Kareem Hunt. I'm going to give that a wash, especially since Nick Chubbs is not playing this week.
Yep.
He's out. So the ball will go through Kareem Hunt. I've got Antonio Gibson versus James Conner. Going to give it up to Gibson because Gibson's just a stud and he's turning it on as of late. Then we've got the battle of the tight ends, which I really don't give a fuck because Waller, I never know what the hell he's going to do against Hawkinson, who is basically the only good player on the offensive side. Well, mine is Swift, but that isn't a running game player. And the kickers won't give a fuck about it's Boswell and Butker. I give it to Butker because it's KC. She has the Tampa defense, and they did nothing last night. So they are stuck at 4 points. I got the Rams defense, and they're going against the G-men. Ha, 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 ha. I think I have that one in the bag. Gooby, how are my chances this week?
You're going to crush it this week. I really like that defense pick because the Giants, they have no quarterback right now. They don't have a wide receiver one, and they don't have a running back one. So I'm looking to see you score some big points on that defensive side there. I do want to ask a question. I told you I'm going to bring this up every single fucking podcast.
All right.
But I do want to know, is you sitting Herbert the new I sat Patrick Mahomes?
It might be, but in my defense, Mahomes was playing the Jets. Okay. Herbert was playing the Browns. The Browns actually have a decent defense. I didn't think it was going to be a shootout. That was my logic. My logic was Browns defense. It was going to be a run and gun, like run game, pound for pound. Like, I knew Herbert was going to get his. I could have lived with him getting 30 points even. But the fact that Cousins, you're at home against probably one of the shittiest teams in the league in the Detroit Lions, and you stink. You couldn't do anything. You stunk. And the only reason I got those 19 points, because the Lions took the lead. So I got lucky with that. Swift got in with a touchdown. So Cousins like, oh my God, now I got to show up. And he threw a couple of nice balls to Thielen, who Thielen got nothing until that. Like it was all Jefferson the first half. And then Cousins just said, okay, well, I met my quota. Fuck you guys. But yeah, it's up there. I'd still give it to like sitting Mahomes against the Jets. That's number one. Sorry, Kevin. And then sitting Herbert, balling out with 54 points. It was stupid on my part, honestly.
All right.
If I could kick my own ass, I would do it. How are you looking this week? Who are you battling this week?
I'm facing Kevin, the man, the myth, the legend, the Patrick Mahomes sitter. And so far, so good. Like we said, we are recording a little bit late, unfortunately, but that's okay. He had Tom Brady. Tom Brady put up 25.95 points. I will take it. Tom Brady has been balling out this year, putting up tons of points. So I'm cool with 25 points.
That's what she said too.
Giselle said it, not me.
Yeah. I'm sure she said it after the game.
Obviously I got Matthew Stafford. He's playing the Giants. So I mean, are we looking for like kind of like a Bills versus the Detroit game, or was it who did the Bills destroy a couple weeks ago?
Houston. They shut out two teams though. They shut out Houston and keep going and I'll find out.
Yeah. So I'm hoping for one of those shutouts with Matthew Stafford versus the Giants. Justin Jefferson's playing Carolina, going against Amari Cooper. AJ Brown's playing Buffalo. I'm not liking that matchup. AJ Brown's been playing not so good. And then he's facing off against Emmanuel Sanders. I kind of like Sanders in that matchup.
Sanders
over AJ Brown right now.
He's been on fire.
I'm gonna skip the running backs for right now. Miles Andrews, tight end, playing against Geskick. I don't know how to pronounce that name for Miami. Andrews playing the Chargers. I like Andrews. He put up 30 points last week. I don't see him putting up 30 points this week, but I see him putting up at least 10.
I don't know, man. They're playing the Chargers. I think that's going to be an offensive battle. So Andrews might light it up with 20.
All right. I like that. I like that. My flex has been going back and forth to the past couple of days. McCaffrey was supposed to play. He's out. Kenny Gallaudet is out. Devontae Smith has already played. Thank God I didn't start him. He only got 3 points. So I am starting Ruggs the third for Las Vegas against Denver. It could be a good game for him. Denver's a garbage team anyways.
Yeah, they are, but they're pretty sound defensively. I think that's gonna be one of those games where it's like 10-7 final or something.
Let's not hope it's 10-7. Let's hope the kickers get some fucking love too, because I got McManus. So
I'm okay with your kicker just balling out. I mean, I want Waller to get some yards, but I'm not holding my breath. I just think that's going to be probably the worst game on. It's going to be a snooze fest. Even Jackson or Miami and Jacksonville is going to be more exciting than that game.
Give me 3 50-yard field goals and I'll be happy. Dallas defense is playing New England. I like my odds. Cleveland's playing Arizona. That's going to be a tough matchup. And now let's get to the running backs, because I know everybody's like, why did Gooby skip the running backs? Well, there's a reason why Gooby skipped the running backs. Derrick Henry playing in Buffalo. That's going to be a tough one for him. He's going up against Ezekiel Elliott in New England. I'm going to give it up to Derrick Henry a little bit. Elliott is questionable after landing on that freaking cone.
Elliott's
I know he's playing, but
for Belichick's sake.
But it's still a back injury, so it does take some toll on your. And then Daryl Henderson playing against the Giants. I like my odds there. And Daryl Henderson is playing at the moment nobody, because Kevin doesn't have a backup running back because Saquon Barkley is injured and Chris Carson is injured. And he has this guy named Chris Evans for Cincinnati, but I really don't see anything coming out of that. And Gooby over here has gone on and placed Gallaudet and McCaffrey on IR to pick up 2 more running backs off the waiver wire. Most of them are second and third string running backs anyways, but just in case, I'm picking up some running backs just so he doesn't get them. Melky, I'm predicted 114-99. What are you thinking?
I mean, it's probably going to go up a little bit, but not too much. But sorry, Kevin, you have no depth, and I don't know why you dropped Collins and served him up to me. I'll take Collins, man. If it means you don't have him or anyone else, I'll take it. So I'm thinking you're gonna stomp the living hell out of him and catapult yourself further up in the standings, and he's going to drop down, and I'm going to catapult back up because I'm not too far behind him in points. So I think it's going to be a good day for this podcast going next week.
Yeah, I really hope so too. If I lose to someone who's starting a second or third string running back, I will be pretty angry.
Yeah, and we've seen you angry. It's not fun. Actually, it's pretty hilarious. Oh, and the other game was Buffalo. Miami put up the goose egg against Buffalo as well. So Buffalo's defense is no joke. They're no joke. We can say, I'm going to say it right now. They're the best team in the NFL. I know Arizona's 5-0, but Buffalo is the real deal, and Buffalo has everything going for them right now.
I did pick them at the start of the season to take the Super Bowl.
You did, and then you flip-flopped and said they're going to win.
So the Rams
are going to win. Make up your damn mind.
I can't. It's really hard. They're both great teams.
All right. Well, speaking of, actually, we're not going to speak of a good team. We're going to talk Week 5 highlights, and we're going to start with Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson out 6 to 8 weeks. They played last Thursday. The Rams defeated them 26-17. Russ went down with a ruptured tendon in his middle finger.
Yeah.
So he's gone. Bye-bye. Gooby, are the Seahawks in trouble?
Seahawks are very much in trouble. They're starting Geno Smith. I'm going to get into him a little bit later on, but it's not looking good. Especially, I mean, like I just alluded to earlier, Chris Carson on IR. Like it's not looking good for them right now. And I was watching that game and I saw his finger. He couldn't like move it. It looked just like it grossed me out a little bit. Yeah, they're in trouble. What are they right? What's their record right now? I'm gonna pull it up here because I have Chris Carson here anyways. 1, 2. They're 2-3, right? They're already 2-3. You know, they've lost technically 3 with Russell Wilson. I won't fully blame him for last week, but still, like, yeah, they're in trouble.
Yeah, I think their season's over, especially with the way Arizona and LA are playing. And San Francisco, they have a great defense, and that's a great system over there. I just think by the time Russ gets back, it's going to be too little too late.
Yeah, the NFC, like, it's going to be hard to get a wild.
The NFC West alone. The NFC West alone. Forget the NFC. The NFC West.
Yeah.
That's like 4 legit teams, and now you don't have your quarterback. Game over.
I'm just saying, to get into a wild card spot, it's going to be impossible.
Yeah, I agree.
But something that I didn't think was possible is the Dallas defense and Trayvon Diggs balling out compared to last year. Is like our defense was terrible. Our defense has been terrible for like at least 5 years, and to be arguably top 2, top 3 defense in the league right now, and having probably arguably the top 2 corner in the league in Trayvon Diggs with six interceptions. Only 4 teams have more interceptions than Trayvon Diggs, and one of them is Dallas with 10 interceptions. What do you think of this Trayvon Diggs and the Dallas defense?
What a year! What a year can do for a player. Like, honestly, Trayvon, in his scouting report last year, it said he was eager. He risked a lot. And now you fast forward to this year, and it just looks effortless.
Yeah.
The way he calculates and scouts the ball and just goes up and grabs it, it's remarkable. Look at that pick on Sunday against the Giants. He was beat. The wide receiver was gone, and he's just like, no, he had so much confidence in his speed, caught up to him, jumped up, grabbed it like it was nothing, and then he was off to the races. He is all world right now. I'm questioning who the top corner is right now, and it's hard to not say he's not the best right now. It's scary, and there are some good corners out there in the league, but Trayvon Diggs, I think him being a former wide receiver in college and then translating to a corner has paid dividends. And obviously having your big brother as Stephon Diggs doesn't help, or could only help you even more. So it's insane, man. He's on he's all world on a different planet right now. Sorry, guys. I want talking Trayvon.
Yeah, man, you're lost for words right now, and I think I'm the same. You know what? I want to give big ups to that college coach who said, you know what? I'm gonna put you as a cornerback because I think you're gonna do well. And Trayvon's like, I don't want to do it. He called up Stephon Diggs like, yo, what's going on? And Stephon just said, yo, go to work, man. Do you? And look at him now. Like I said, arguably arguably the best corner in the league right now. Obviously, you might want to give it up to Jalen Ramsey, but still, man, Trayvon Diggs, you're fucking killing it. Keep doing you.
I don't even think Ramsey did anything like this in his first few years in the league. So,
yeah,
I think I'm hopping on that Trayvon train right now. And Ramsey, you're going to be second best. You know what they say: if you ain't first, you last.
Yes, sir.
But speaking of not being last, let's talk about the best team in the NFL. I'm talking about the Buffalo Bills, not the Arizona Cardinals. The Bills Last Sunday night, I sent a huge message, sorry guys, to the Chiefs, the reigning AFC champions, by pounding 38-20. Josh Allen had 315 passing yards, 3 passing TDs, 59 rushing yards, 1 rushing TD. Mahomes, on the other hand, went 272 passing yards, 2 passing TDs, 2 INTs, 61 rushing yards, and a fumble loss. Gooby, I'm saying it, but I'm asking you, are the Bills the best team in the NFL?
No, they are not. I still think the Rams are the best team in the NFL with their offensive weapons. Daryl Henderson has been doing outstanding job. I would give Daryl Henderson maybe a top 6 running back in the NFL right now. I could probably name 5.
I wouldn't, but go, keep going.
Keep going. But the Rams defense, I still think has a little notch up on the Bills defense. As an overall team, I still think the Rams are an all-out favorite to be the number 1 team in the NFL. Bills very close. But yeah, that I really want to see this matchup in the Super Bowl. Like that's like a 60-point either side game, or not, because both defenses are very well put together.
I'm begging for that Super Bowl matchup as well. I just think the Bills are on a different planet right now. I just think if you look at the receiving core for both teams, you could arguably say it's a wash. You have your number 1 in Diggs and Kupp. And you have your supporting cast, Sanders and Woods. You got your tight ends, Knox and Higbee. You got your running game. So Buffalo, this is where they differ a little bit. Josh Allen, Zach Moss, and Singletary all run. And they all run very well, where they rely on Henderson and, to a lesser extent, Sony Michel. The defenses are primarily the same. Big names. They like to rush the passer. So it is very close. What the Bills have done, and especially what they did to the Chiefs, I mean, you could compare what Stafford did, what they did to Tom Brady, but I just think the Bills right now, I'm going to give the slight edge to them, but agree to disagree.
Yeah, and I like you said with the whole Stafford taking on Tampa Bay, like both teams took on champions last year's and 2 years ago. So yeah, they're top 2 in the NFL. But speaking of, champions and high scoring games, I'm gonna put maybe 3rd in the NFL right now. The Chargers beating the Browns in a high scoring affair, 47-42. Like, the Browns defense is no joke either. Their offense is a little bit of a joke, but they put on a show, and I'm loving it. Again, like you alluded to earlier, you sat Herbert putting up 50 points in fantasy. Yeah, that game was just outstanding. What are your thoughts of this game?
I'm going to ask you a question first. Was this the best game so far in the NFL season?
I'm gonna be biased and I'm gonna say no, because I still love that fucking Dallas and Tampa Bay game start of the year. Like that was just so exciting to see Dallas put up like a fight against the champs.
Yeah, no, it's tough because I'm gonna ask you another question. Now, what game was better? I don't know if you caught the Monday nighter, the Ravens and the Colts, or that game, because that Raven and Colts game was fantastic too.
I did not catch the Monday nighter, but I did watch the highlights. I would give it up to the Chargers and the Browns, because like that was just like a gunslinging, running. I'm gonna fucking just score. You're just gonna score, and we're gonna see who can score more. So I prefer the Chargers over the Browns.
Yeah, this was box office. I'm labeling this as box office, and I'm labeling this as the game so far in the NFL season, in the young NFL season. Slight edge over Buffalo KC, slight edge over Tampa LA, and I think the Cardinals are up there with a really good game too. This game had everything like you just alluded to. Justin Herbert, yes, I fucked up not starting him, but put fantasy aside, his numbers 398 passing yards, 4 passing TDs, 29 rushing yards, a rushing TD, and a 2-point conversion. Like Austin Eckler, 66 rushing yards, 2 rushing TDs, 53 receiving yards, a receiving TD, 1 fumble loss. Baker, who's not known to throw the ball and is getting a lot of flack right now, being the Cleveland quarterback for now and the future. But he had 305 passing yards, 2 passing TDs, 8 rushing yards, and a 2-point conversion. So this game had everything. It had everything you would want in an NFL game. It was exciting. I would have been more excited if I didn't do what I did because I was busy crying in the corner. But other than that, this was box office.
Yeah, no, it was a great game, and I'm a loss for words because this year in the NFL, man, teams are showing up and they're balling out. Like the NFC, the AFC, like you just don't know. Like the Chiefs can come back at any point. Like they have the team, they just need defense, right? So, and then Tom Brady's Tom Brady, right? The Bills are just crushing it. The Cardinals are crushing it. The Chargers are crushing. Like you just don't know. Dallas is crushing it. You just don't know this is a wide open season right now.
What's the slogan we always say? Any given Sunday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Know who's not gonna have any given Sundays? The biggest news in the NFL right now.
Largest.
John Gruden quits because of racial comments he made from a few years ago in an email, which we are obviously not going to repeat. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this whole Gruden situation?
It wasn't just racial; it was sexist,
ignorant,
misogynistic, racist. And I don't know if it was in all like one email where he just offended every group in the world, but I'm sure it was pretty close to it. I think it just shows someone can be fake in the media and have a persona, but you can't hide. If someone's a piece of shit in this world, eventually it's going to come out. And that's what happened here. John Gruden, to me, he always had this smug arrogance about him. But everybody, kicked it to the side because he was this great coach. He won a Super Bowl with Tampa. He was great on Monday night. Like all these accolades erased who he really was. And it finally caught up to him. And you're not going to get away with that nowadays. It doesn't matter if it's 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It's going to bite you in the rear. And it bit him hard. And he knew he was backed up against the corner. And even though they said he resigned, I honestly think he was fired. He was terminated. And it's just a black eye on a sport that's just so much fun to be a part of and just talk about. Like, you and I are doing a podcast about fantasy football and NFL football. We love it so much that's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
He's soiling the sport that we love.
Yep.
And I'm just glad he's out of the game and he will never, ever get another job because that shit's not tolerable at all. You are not better than everyone else. So you can go hide in your little house in Florida and you can be a bigot there and stay away from the game. You're done. You're scum. And shame on all the other people that are attached to that email that went along with it. And kudos to the Raiders. I don't know if you checked out the Raiders game on Sunday, but they looked a little off. And I didn't know why, but they looked off like Carr and Waller, the defense. And the Chicago Bears, again, yes, any given Sunday, but I'm sorry. The Chicago Bears stink. And the Chicago Bears ran roughshod over the Raiders at home. And I was wondering why they looked off. They just looked like they had no intensity. They did not want to be there. And now I know why. They probably knew about this beforehand, and this weight was over their head. And like, we're playing for a guy who's probably the biggest piece of shit in the world right now. So kudos to them for like at least playing, but yeah, no, there's no place for this. And I'm glad he was caught, and I'm glad he will no longer be a part of it.
Yeah, no, you said it best, and I can't stand for this, and I'm glad that someone stood up and brought this email to the NFL's attention and the world's attention, because like people like that shouldn't be making the money or these type of jobs, because like man, you're in the spotlight. You're in the spotlight of millions of people in the world, and to have someone like that in the spotlight, it's not right. And I'm glad the NFL and the Raiders, like you said, he was probably fired, but they may have given him a little bit of decency to say, "Oh, I quit." But yeah, no, there's no room for this in the NFL or the world, and hopefully this shit stops soon. But yeah,
I think we're on track for that. So this is a prime example that you can't get away with anything nowadays.
Yeah. Let's get away from this segment, because I don't like talking about him anymore, and I hope we don't have to talk about him ever again.
I don't think we ever will.
We're gonna go into a new segment, and I'll explain it once we go into this little intro to it.
I could eat about 1.5 million of these. My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is Forrest Gump talking about a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And this segment is about players that you never know what you're going to get when you start them. These are going to be players that have been inconsistent in their numbers for fantasy, and we're gonna dive in and see if we can keep them. Should we get rid of them, or should we just stash them away? We're gonna start off with Deandre Swift of the Detroit Lions. His numbers for fantasy the past
5 weeks.
6 games, 4 games, 5 games. Sorry,
5 games.
Losing my mind. The numbers for the past 5 games: 16 points, 8 points, 16 points, 5 points, and 16 points. Is it just because it's Detroit, or is it because he's just an inconsistent player, Mo?
I don't know this Mo you speak of, but I just bugging you. I think it has to do with he's battling injury, so I think it has something to do with that. And I also think it has to do with being in Detroit. They're a work in progress. Jared Goff is not a good quarterback. Their wide receiver core sucks balls. So defenses are probably stacking the box when it comes to Deandre Swift, because he is, besides Hawkinson, he is their best weapon. So I think that has a little to do with it. Could also be that he just doesn't give a fuck and likes the number 16.
All right. So is he a stash, trash, or a trade?
No, stash. I would hold on to him. It's hard to get good running backs. He's actually a talent. When he's on, he's on. He's the type of player, when he's on, he's on. When he's off, he's off. I would keep him, especially with all the injuries happening to running backs. He's definitely a stash.
Yeah. All right. Next on the list, I'm going with Kirk Cousins. Man, you're probably going to rip apart in this segment, but that's okay. Last 5 games, he went 30 points, 34 points, 34 points, 15 points, and 19 points. He has the targets. He has Adam Thielen, who is a great target. He has Justin Jefferson, who's a great target. I know Cooks has been Cook has been injured, but like this is no excuse. Like, yeah, you put up 3 great games for a quarterback, and then you've had 2 shitty games. Is it Cook? Is Cook the reason that he's not putting up the points, or is it just because it's Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings?
It's a little bit of both. Obviously, not having a top, I'd say arguably top 5 running back is killing him in a sense where he's got to do a little more work. Also, it's typical Kirk Cousins. He always starts hot. The first 3 weeks of the season or 4 weeks, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he's the hottest waiver wire pickup. And then you actually grab him, he fucks you over royally, just like he did to me. So I don't trust him. I don't trust anyone on Minnesota anymore. I hate the Vikings. I hate purple. Actually, I like the color purple, but they make purple stupid. So I'm gonna say, what are your options? Stash, trash, or
trash, or trade?
Oh, he's trash. Throw him right in the trash, and then take some valve oil or anything that can
Flammable.
light, that's flammable, that can light pretty quickly. Toss that in there. Get a match. Burn that motherfucker down, and don't ever turn back.
He did good for me last year.
How many times do you play him? I
think 3 times,
yeah.
And I think I won twice with him.
He's usually good for a bye week starter, but he sucks. He's not reliable.
Yeah.
I had to go get Tannehill, who is another guy I don't trust.
Yeah, I don't trust Tannehill, especially with Julio injured and AJ Brown not being consistent. Even though he is not on this list, that's another inconsistent player. Anyways, we're gonna go with a guy you traded and one of my favorites, Robert Woods. His last 5 games went 9 points, 7 points, 4 points, 11 points, 15 points. Is it the Cup show? Or is Robert Woods starting to get involved as the points are starting to go up? I'm going to say yes. He's starting to get involved. I think he's a good flex and or wide receiver too. Melky, what is your thoughts?
Yeah, he starts to get better after I send him adrift. Asshole. No, I don't know, man. Like, he's a good player. And I think I actually heard through the grapevine, he complained to McVay that he wasn't getting any love. So that's why he posted that 115 yards last week.
Yes, sir.
So that's probably had something to do with it, but I don't trust him. He's a great flex option, like you said. I wouldn't even put him as a number 2. Jamar Chase and Chase Claypool clearly are better than him, and that's why I play them more. He screwed me over so many times. It's not even funny. I told you, if he didn't perform, I'm putting him through the wood chipper. That's where he belongs. Well, he belongs there. And if you can't find a wood chipper, just trade him like I did. I got Miles Sanders out of it. I think it was a fair trade. I needed a 3rd running back, so he's someone else's problem.
Yeah, so I'm assuming you're on the trade and says a stash trasher pass.
I said trade.
Yeah, well, yeah. All right, so Tyler Lockett. All right. This one's the interesting one. 22 points, 24 points, 3 points, 2 points, and 6 points. With no Russell Wilson in sight for 6 to 8 weeks, are we trusting this man to get a good, steady point system going for the next 6 to 8 weeks?
Hell no. He disappeared when he had Russell. Like, he was hot the first 2 weeks. Yep. And then poof, disappeared like Mike's underwear. No, he's in the same category as Woods. You know, you really never know what you're going to get from him. I would put him on the trading block like that Wouldn't even hesitate.
There you go. So it's a pass for Melky. And this one I put on here because of the inconsistent numbers, but I'm sure we're both going to agree on it. Tyreek Hill, past 5 games, 26 points, 3 points, 5 points, 36 points, 8 points. I'm not sure what's going on there. I can probably guess that it's because the defense can't keep up, which means that it's harder for Patrick Mahomes to get the ball out, which means that they're throwing more, and it's not vibing with Tyreek Hill. Like I said, like 36 points out of nowhere, but before that 5 and 3 points. I'm not worried with him. I think he's obviously you keep him on. Like you don't pass him, you don't trash him, you don't stash him, you keep him on.
No, he's a starter. You don't mess with someone who can easily get you a 40 point performance, in the drop of a hat. I think the problem is Kelsey obviously is the number one option, but that's not a bad thing. And Tyreek, he can just come and go. Teams are double teaming. They'd rather Kelsey beat them over him because he's so quick. He's injured right now too. You can tell he's not 100%. And the run game in KC's terrible. So if your run game's not good, you've seen examples where look at Sam Darnold when McCaffrey isn't there. He's got to rely on himself or his arm. And you're seeing the real Panthers without McCaffrey. And it's the same thing with Mahomes. He doesn't have a run game. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's nice sometimes, but he's not reliable either. So Tyreek, I'm not too worried about Tyreek. Tyreek's going to get his soon. I actually think he's going to have a nice performance this week. So you keep him on your roster and you start him.
Yeah. I 100% agree with you. It's no brainer. It's Tyreek Hill. It's Patrick Mahomes. You don't bench those people. Wait. No. Maybe you do if you're Kevin.
Or me.
Anyways, that is the Forrest Gump segment. Let us know what you thought of it. Hit the comments below if you want more out of that kind of stuff. Melky, what's going on over here?
Well, it's glad to see we didn't see you run, Gooby run, because that would have been hilarious too. Melky needs some help, and no, not with personal style or personal hygiene. He's good right there, but he needs help in his suicide pool. He's in the suicide pool right now. He wants to win, obviously. He's got 4 games he is debating over, and we'd like you guys to let him know before Sunday what to do. And more importantly, Gooby, since you're here right now, your opinion on what game I should pick. Now, I have an idea which one I'm leaning towards, but help me solidify it. So matchup 1, Cowboys versus Patriots. See, I would pick the Cowboys, but they're on the road. And they haven't beaten New England since, I don't know, even before Tom Brady was there. Yeah. I know it's not Tom Brady, New England, but it's still Bill Belichick defense. So It's one of those games where I don't trust. So then I went over to the Chiefs and the no-namers. I expect the Chiefs to have a bounce-back game, even though it's on the road. I don't believe in Washington's defense. I think it's overrated. But then again, KC can't stop anyone. Yeah. So that could be a shootout. So then I shuffled over to the Bengals and Lions. And the Bengals screwed up royally last week. And not only that, they're a young team. It's in Detroit. I think Detroit is due for a win. I actually think Detroit has not played all that bad. They've been in most of the games. It's just their talent is putrid. Mm-hmm. So then I looked, and there's an obvious one looking at me right now. And it's the Rams and the Giants. The Rams have everything. They have a quarterback, wide receivers, defense, running back. And then you look at the Giants, and they're decimated, especially on the offensive side. So to me, that sounds like a no-brainer, but I just need you and everyone else to solidify that pick for me. So, Gooby, what do you think?
I like the Cincy game. I don't trust the Dallas game.
I don't trust the Dallas game either.
I don't
that
trust.
was the first one I crossed
I
off.
don't trust the KC game. The Rams is the obvious choice, but if you were to go with something else, I would do the Cincinnati game.
I just think the Lions, this is the battle of the cats. And I just think Detroit being at home, they almost won last week against stupid ass Kirk Cousins. I think they're due for a win, man. The Bengals are a nice story. Their defense isn't that good. And I just think they're due for a win. If they're gonna shock the Lions are gonna win anything this year, it's gonna be this game. So I'm leaning towards the Rams and Giants. I just think that's the obvious choice.
Yeah, no, obvious choice would be the Rams, but if you weren't gonna go with the obvious choice, I would do the Cincinnati game for sure. Cincinnati's offense is great. Chase is doing good. I mean, Tyler Boyd, not so much. But yeah, no, definitely go with the Rams game.
All right. Well, thank you kindly, brother. And
No
again,
worries.
if you guys, once this episode comes out, if you guys want to give your opinion too, let us know. Drop a feed on my Instagram or Gooby's, and yeah, give us your input. We'd love to hear it.
Or hit us up on the comments down below on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, you can do that too. I mean, whatever floats your boat.
But you know what? Speaking of Tyler Boyd, let's go into Boomer Bust this week. And I'm going to go first because I got Tyler Boyd on my Boomer Bust, actually. What's that?
You name dropped him, so yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, you know what? With Jamar Chase getting the ball more and more and Boyd only having one TD all season, it's looking more likely that Boyd is going to be a bust for the rest of the season. Only putting up 34 points so far. That's not looking like a wide receiver 1 or 2. At this moment, he is a mediocre flex at best. What are your thoughts on Tyler Boyd just in general? Is he a flex? Is he not a flex? Like, what's going on over there?
He's I'm not playing you because he's lost in the Cincinnati Bengals shuffle. Look at all the weapons they have. Like Jamar Chase is clearly the new wide receiver sheriff in town. You got T. Higgins, who's a great they're almost like 1A, 1B, him and Chase. You have Mixon in the run game. You have they have two really big tight ends. I can't remember the names, sorry guys, right now. And then Boyd is just like the forgotten child. So he and it's crazy because he's fast. He's lightning quick, but he's getting no love this year. Last week he had a pedestrian 4 receptions for 24 yards.
Yeah,
that's not going to get it done. That's not flex worthy points. So he's a big bust in my book too.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him on the pedestal with Robert Woods, and say, bro, you need to start commanding that ball. Go cry to your coach. I want the ball. Give me the ball for a game or two.
No, it's not going to happen because he's arguably like the 4th or 5th best talent on that team. So your Jamar Chase is going to get away with everything. T. Higgins is, the run game is, the 2 tight ends are, and Burrow's going to be like, wait your turn. That's all he's going to say is wait your turn.
Yeah. All right. So who do you got on your Boomer Bust?
Well, I went with the run game this week. The 2 hottest waiver wire pickups probably available. So I'm going to start with the first one. Daryl Williams from the Kansas City Chiefs. As you know, Clyde went down with a sprained MCL. He is lucky, by the way. Last week, his performance was 27 rushing yards, 18 receiving yards in limited time because I think it happened near the end.
Yep.
So, like I said, with CEH sideline, look for Williams' workload to double, especially against a Washington team that's middle of the pack against the run. So he's a boom in my book. I think for the next 3 weeks, he's going to get some love. I think they trust him more too over CEH, and it's going to show. Unless a move happens, I've heard rumors that Marlon Mack might be on the way. That could hinder his playing time, but until further notice, he's a boom in my book.
Yeah, I agree 100%. He is a boom, especially for this week coming up. Like you said, with the whole Marlon Mack situation, you never know where he's going to go. But even if he gets sent there tomorrow, he still has to go through protocols. He will not play this week. So, yeah, Williams is definitely a play, a start, a boom for this week and maybe for the foreseeable 2 to 3 weeks. All right. I'm going with another injured player being taken over. Geno Smith. This one's going to be rough. Sorry, Geno. Geno took over the QB role last week in the third quarter for the injured Russell Wilson. He looked okay through a nice touchdown pass to DK Metcalf, but ultimately falling short, throwing an INT at the 2-minute mark, costing the game for Seattle. At this point, I saw the same Geno Smith of the pass. For that reason, I'm going to label him as a bust. And on the side, I'm going to do a side bust. I know we already talked about this, but on a side bust, Tyler Lockett's numbers will go down. It's going to dwindle. And, yeah, I don't see that team doing anything with Geno Smith. And if you have Lockett, I would start throwing his name around for a trade. Hopefully you get something. Probably not. But, yeah, Geno Smith is a bust for 6 to 8 weeks.
And I'm going to concur. He is not Russell Wilson.
Nope.
That is all. No, he hasn't started since 2017.
Yeah.
He has a reason he's a backup. He's not even a good backup. He's not even talked about as a top tier backup. Again, he is not Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
So he's a bust.
He's a bust, and he's probably now arguably the worst quarterback starting in the NFL at this moment.
Worse than the Texans quarterback, the third string. I think I take Geno over him.
Yeah, I don't know yet. We'll see. Who do you got as your last boomer bust?
So I went with the second hottest waiver wire pickup, another running back. He plays for the New York Football Giants. We're going with Devontae Booker. He posted in relief of Saquon 42 rushing yards, a rushing TD, 16 receiving yards, and a receiving TD. So he had a nice day at the office. Unfortunately, you play for the Giants. So you are a bust in my book. We don't know how long Saquon is out. I don't trust your offensive line. You have no weapons that are going to be playing wide receiver this weekend. If the Rams are smart, they will just load the box and make Danny Dimes beat them with his arm, or him try to like run into the end zone again and get crushed for another concussion. Whatever floats your boat. The Giants stink. Booker, you're a one-hit wonder. You're a bust in my book. Hurry up, Saquon. We need you.
I'm going to slightly disagree with you. I think he is going to be a boom. Not against the Rams, though. He will be a bust against the Rams, but moving forward against mediocre teams, if Saquon Barkley does not come back, he will be a boom because they have no quarterback. Their wide receivers are garbage, like especially with Gallaudet out. Their offense is looking dismal. So I see the running game being their go-to. He might get a few yards and look for him to be the red zone target for at least the next foreseeable future until Saquon Barkley comes back. But it's a mediocre boom. Don't get it twisted. Don't be like, I'm gonna fucking start him over Derrick Henry. Do not do that. You're stupid if you do. But yeah, I think he'll do all right. I think he can get you good flex points.
Is he a constipated boom? Because that's what it sounds like to me. It's like where it's not coming out yet, and when it eventually does, maybe it's a splash.
Yeah. It's not coming out. It's not coming out during the Rams game, but it'll come out eventually. You might get 15, 20 points out of them. while Saquon's sitting on the bench, but not during the Rams game.
Either way, I don't really care. I hate the Giants. Good luck to you, boys. All right. Well, let's dive into everyone's favorite ending segment. We're gonna go Toonie Bets. Gooby, why don't you start us off? Who do you got this week and why?
Bold prediction after last week's high scoring affair. I'm gonna say the Browns are gonna take down the Cards and give them their first loss. I know Chubb is out, but I don't know. I want to throw that bold prediction out there. Someone's got to beat the Cards, and for the foreseeable future, my Toonie Bets will go against the Cards until they lose the game.
What did they ever do to you?
I just want them to lose. That's all.
Wow, so much hate. That's you know what? That's not a bad bet. Look at I don't know if you heard sidebar, the Eagles and Tampa game, and a guy bet $330,000 that the Eagles would hit the spread, and they did, and he doubled his money.
Yeah, and I lost.
Yeah, you lost. Yeah, I saw your pro line ticket. It was oogly. But yeah, we're gonna go with my pick now, and coincidentally, I went the Rams dismantling the G-men, just like my suicide pick. Oh, who would have thought? Yeah, this is a no-brainer. Rams, smash mouth, Giants. You guys suck. New York football sucks.
Yep.
Look for the Rams to just honestly just win effortlessly. I think it's going to be one of those laughable games where you're like, man, you guys suck. I'm talking to you, New York.
Yeah.
All right, and the man who created this, so we never forget him. He always shares his bets for each week, and I'm going to play you it right now. So enjoy.
Hello, everybody.
Hold on. Technical difficulties.
Sorry. Do it again.
I'm very excited, boys, to hear this week's episode with all the craziness going on in the NFL. And I guess we've all learned two very important lessons. Number one, if you're going to be a shitty person, never leave a paper trail. I mean, work email? That seems amateur, right? Number two, don't ever personally insult Roger Goodell. That is the final straw. My bet of the week, I have the Chargers versus the Ravens, and I'm actually going to go against the spread. Melky, you're going to be happy. I have the Chargers winning this one. My team matchup is going to be Herbert versus that Ravens secondary. I mean, the Ravens almost lost to the Colts and Wentz in that close-knit game. And even though they have the best kicker in the game and everything's running, I think Herbert's going to ball out, put up major points. I know the Ravens are going to do really well, but it's in LA. The Chargers won the last matchup. So, yeah, Herbert's the real deal, man. I'm going with him all night long. Can't wait to hear your picks. And like I said, the episode. Peace, boys.
There we go. Yeah, good pick. I can't complain with that pick.
That's a solid pick. Well done, Ba, as always. He knows his shit.
Yeah, no, yeah. Like, I think again with bold predictions, I'll probably lose mine. You guys will win yours. I'll owe you guys some toonies, but that's okay.
I'll take mine in change, please.
I'm gonna give you dimes, only dimes, the small stuff.
The ones that Daniel can never get.
But that is this week's episode of Show Us Your TDs. Thank you for listening, watching, viewing, subscribing, whatever you're doing. Please hit those like buttons, those follow buttons, those subscribe buttons, whatever you want to do it your way. Melky, what do you got?
Well, thank you guys for allowing us to read out of our ridiculous playbook. As always, I just want to thank the man in front of me. He's a class act, class personified. He knows his shit. He makes this a lot of fun and very easy. Thank you, Gooby. And also, I want to apologize for this episode running late. I had a lot of stuff to do this week. Your boy's going to be a father. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's not true. I had a scare when I was boarding a plane in Mexico, and some little kid who kind of looked like me bumped into my leg and screamed, "Papa!" And I was like, "Oh boy!" And everyone around me started laughing. But thank God his parents found him. I don't have any kids that I know of. We'll keep it that way. But no, thank you guys for for taking this journey with us every week. And this week is going to be exciting. I can't wait. And yeah, thank you, NA30. Anthony, you're the man. And yeah, guys, subscribe. Give us some feedback. We love to hear from you guys. We want to know how to make this show better because we're doing this for you. We're doing this for the love of football. So please don't hesitate. We don't bite. Well, Gibby does if you are covered in sugar and chocolate frosting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do want to say, guys, if you want to, leave a comment about a player that you want us to talk about, do it. We'll talk about him as long as he's semi-relevant. Don't pick like some fifth string starter that's playing out of like UFC or something like that.
And don't pick any CFL players. That's not even a real sport.
Yeah, I don't know why I said UFC. I meant USC. But anyways, yeah. Send us some players if you want us to do a boom or bust on a player, or just send us your lineup and maybe we can help you set up your lineup. We're more than willing to do that. So yeah, hit us up. Melky, again, thank you for being with me on this. I appreciate it. That's it, boys, or boys, girls, all you people right there.
All you groups. We don't discriminate. We love you all. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay? Until next week. Have a solid week.
Peace.
Laces out.
Laces out.